Good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday, everyone. The O Crew is back in the studio in the pod.
What? Happy Saturday,
What?
everybody.
Happy Saturday. Happy
Listen.
Saturday.
It's a family reunion. Hey,
What's the next word?
hey. I don't know.
I thought it was a family affair.
Oh, that's a whole nother movie or something, ain't it?
No, that's a song, isn't it?
No, a family reunion is the song.
But I thought
Sing it, Gil.
Man, y'all about to have, it's over.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Listen,
morning,
we
y'all.
so hyped. We so
Woo.
hyped this morning.
It's so good to be home. It is so good to be home.
we smiling from ear to ear this morning.
Yes.
Ain't he? Listen, like a chest out kind. I feel like I'm shining. Y'all see
We
me
all
shine
shining
this
this
morning.
morning.
Listen, I don't know if they haven't. Every time I come back, man, something is like pop. This is new. This is like where we supposed to be. This is like really. I'm excited. Like I wish they could really see like the whole setup, man. This is awesome, man.
They need to
see
stay-
visions.
They need to stay right on over there. You can't see everything behind the scenes.
That's
here.
right.
Well, yeah,
Man.
so we got new. What do you call these? Hello.
Good morning. Oh, I see
I
my
just
sister, the
like,
wife is on.
what
Good
are these
morning,
called?
Mrs.
What are they
Garrett.
called?
I gotta be nice.
Huh?
Be nice.
Gotta be nice.
Like,
Hey, love.
Look,
hey sis. Good morning.
Good
Happy
morning.
Saturday.
happy Saturday.
So we got
The
new.
Rock
We got
is
new blocks.
on.
Sir. We got
Yeah.
new blocks here.
Promo blocks, promo mic blocks.
Promo
Yeah.
blocks.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
Those are nice touch. Very
Like that.
polished.
Yeah. So I had some
Yes.
people chime in this week, y'all, about
Okay.
who's running for mayor. Like they said they didn't really know and they wanted to know some backstory. So I told them to tune in today. So hopefully people are watching today because you all that's watching, y'all see Gil Garrett, mayoral candidate is on. So, Regina, one of the things it was about 3 or 4 people. They were saying, how can we find out about this information? So I said, listen, tune in to be in the driver's seat. So for those of you who are all watching now, tag, share, invite somebody
Yes.
to look at our page. You can have the opportunity to go back and see all of the candidates that are running for mayor that has been on the platform so far. You also have an opportunity for those that's running for the different districts. Tune in, go back and listen to the heart of these leaders. And one thing I want to give a shout out real quick to LaKayla Tatamy. She said yesterday that I can support everybody.
Yes.
Like I can support everybody. I
Where did
don't.
she say this at?
She
Where's
she
she
said
from?
this on her platform. She said she has a few people who she been riding for them for a minute, but that doesn't mean that your sign can't go in her yard. That doesn't mean that she doesn't
So
respect
hold
you.
on, because
Yeah.
you going, bro. Let's back up.
Yeah,
So where does she live? What city does she live in?
in Pontiac,
She lives in Pontiac. She's
So-
she's a nail.
she's a
tech.
nail tech.
Mhm.
She does a lot of things with the youth.
Yeah,
Matter
she-
of fact, she does a lot of
Pontiac,
things with the youth.
high.
So
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
she says she can support everybody.
Well, what she
But when
says
you,
is,
hold on. She can support everybody, but when she get in that little booth, there's only one person you can vote for.
Oh, for sure.
What is it?
So,
For sure.
So
What's she doing?
the purpose of me saying that is
Mhm.
that there is no rival.
Mhm.
Like you have several people, you still can respect and support people
Mhm.
regardless of who you vote
Mhm.
for. So I think the purpose of me saying that is that we have people who say that I can't support this one because I'm rocking with that one.
Mhm.
I'm rocking with everybody. I'm rocking with everybody. Everybody that come
So-
on this platform.
So I get
I'm-
that. I get that because I'm letting you know. I get that. You vote in Pontiac, right? You
Yeah.
vote in Pontiac.
do.
You get one vote. You can
So-
straggle both sides, right?
No, this isn't
who-
about straggling. I think you're missing the point.
I'm not missing the point. She
Yeah.
said she can do
She
for
said
everybody.
support.
She
She,
can say she
didn't
can
say
support.
vote for everybody.
Well,
She
she
said
can only
support.
vote for one.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
trying to
only
rile
can
y'all
vote-
up this month.
You
This-
can't.
I
You
know.
can't rile me up.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead,
got a
Gil.
little
But
something.
to- listen.
Jump in.
Got a little something,
Jump in,
something.
Gil.
in.
And when she said it, I
Mhm.
clearly understand what she's saying.
Absolutely.
And to your point, right? She's going to vote when she gets it.
She get it,
That's
she
the
gonna-
thing.
she gonna vote
And
for
people
one
don't clearly understand this. When the folks get in that box,
Mm-hmm.
what I've seen here
Mm-hmm.
is that you don't know who they voting for
Right.
Absolutely.
until the
Exactly.
numbers come out.
That's right.
Now, if
Then
you
some of
can't,
them don't even vote.
So-
they say they did, but they don't vote.
that
That's
part
true.
too.
That's true.
And until you can read the numbers,
Yeah.
that's the part that where a lot of us who are stat driven, data driven,
Mhm,
when we get to reading the numbers, I clearly know how you support me.
Absolutely.
So when I look at the numbers versus I look at popularity or who people, what people saying, it's favored in my favor because people clearly want direction and people clearly want a leader that they can support and look at and say, hey, we in that space. You can even help support a candidate who's running against you
Absolutely.
by not doing what they do to you. That's support. And so it is we have to get
it.
out of the space of thinking because you're my competitor, you're my enemy.
Yes, that's it.
Like I don't have to be cordial. I don't have to say hi.
I don't have to, and that's a
conversation.
boundary.
But I don't have to hate you.
But
So
I don't
like
have to,
you
and it's
said
a
that.
difference.
Yes.
And most people, some people who choose to be cynical or do things out of do things in their character, which you would consider out of character, they have a tendency of, you can see their level of immaturity. For somebody who is a person of war, a person who studies war, God is a person of war. God has gotten rid of whole kingdoms. He is included. If you understand that clearly, you understand the grace that you have to give that person. Because what you would do to them may destroy their life. They just trying to destroy a moment for you. And so you can support them by giving them the grace that they didn't give you. Miss, as LaKayla was saying, people were actually bashing her, like basically going at her. Like, how do you have this person in your yard? And, you know, just her choice, what she paid for, her taxes.
Her tax.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, and I can almost guarantee it was people that she thought, because if she made that post, because she's not an emotional, like she's not one of the people kind of get on the internet and go right from Pontiac. You kind of watch some people who just get on the internet and they're gonna spaz. She's not one of them people, in my opinion. And she said it. Somebody who said it to her hurt her, and it was somebody close. So she had to just make it plain. Like,
That's what you're saying. That's what you think.
that's just what I believe.
Okay. So,
Right.
let me just say this on her part, as far as being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur, you have to kind of strike the fence and be in the middle, because the same people that you actually may be running for office are the same people that you may do business with. You know, and that's what you got to be careful on too. Let me finish, and I say that because I mean I'm an entrepreneur. You know, I sell cars, but if I don't sell cars, I don't make no money, right? So you got people. It's like being in the middle. You don't know, but who are you ride and die with? That's just the bottom line. Who do you ride and die with? You got a business, like she does. Her ride and die, something happened. That's all I'm saying. And I know we got to get on with accountability, and I kind of just went to the left. Not just saying how I feel, y'all, but I just wanted to be the devil advocate this morning to start a little stuff. It didn't work, though.
We know
It
this.
didn't work with them.
We know this.
They both, put me back in the middle.
No, I just love it. I love good conversation.
Y'all both did.
But I also love the fact that,
Yeah.
you can support people, you don't, and not be their enemy. You don't have to,
Yeah.
just because somebody is in competition with you, you don't have to hate them. Yeah.
And then if you define it by competition, sometimes they're not.
Well, I was at a function last night, and two of the Marriott candidates was in the room, and I swear I had my back. I was looking to try to see what they were going to speak, and I don't think they did.
It's
I really, I don't think. And I'm gonna tell you, I was at Brenda Carter.
Dr.
Listen,
T.
I was at Brenda Carter. Okay,
You
I'm not
already
being
know.
messy.
You
I'm not
already
being
know.
messy.
Y'all see my face.
Look, I'm not being
Listen.
messy. So I was at Brenda Carter's event last night, and I saw Mike McGinnis. Right, took a picture with Mike. Took a picture with Gil. I mean, not Gil, but Kermit.
nah, baby, I wasn't there.
Right. No. But what I'm saying is, I kind of looked.
I was
the
in
room.
mourning.
Look. I was looking in the room like.
It was in morning.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
So I was looked in the room to see if they spoke, and I don't know if they spoke, and I'm like, and I was just observing, and I'm doing that more now, is observing people.
What you do, not necessarily what you say, right?
Right. So I'm just like, and I'm just paying attention. That's all. Taking little notes.
That's
That's all.
good. All
It's
right.
you have to do that.
That's all.
And I hope, and that leads into accountability.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Well,
that
they
leads
could
into
have
it.
and they could have spoken. I didn't see. You know what I mean? But everybody's cordial. You know, everybody's, you know, speak to each other. But I'm talking about conversation. That's all. Okay. I know we got that word today, and we
Mm.
kind of going to be off this morning because we have Gil on this morning.
She
Our
is-
word of the day is accountability. But if you want to call in today, you can call in at 248-905-1128. Please share and comment 248-905-1128. Gil is here and he is in the hot seat. He don't know it, but he's in the hot seat.
Uh-oh.
You know, he's in the hot seat because when you
hot
ride or die and you're a police officer or you're the man, you can handle anything. Because when you are governed to win, because every day you wake up to but you protect the community,
Mhm.
you actually have to be ready for all things,
For
right?
sure.
Mhm.
Oh, for
and
sure.
That, and you were born to win.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
because when you wake up every day, whether you have a uniform or not,
Oh, yeah.
you are
It's all
protecting
in.
the city.
Yes.
You're protecting yourself, but you're protecting the community.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. By choice
Dr. T,
and design.
Gil.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm up in here. So when I heard the word accountability, it's funny because Gil said that's the word of the day, y'all.
Right.
We got
He
Billy.
didn't
to
ask
use the
for
word,
it.
right?
He didn't ask for it.
And so I was literally very quiet and still, and I heard really simply to take account of.
Mm.
To take account of.
Mm.
And so when you think about accountability, you take account of things. Like you're taking account for the things that you're responsible for, who you are as a person, the things you have to do, and what you stand for. And I often talk about accountability partners, but not just a partner, but who are you? When people look at you, do they see you as an accountable person to take ownership of their mishaps, the good things, the bad things, and the ugly things? And can you stand for what's right when everybody else is doing wrong? So accountability to me is walking in integrity, walking in truthfulness, honesty, and also just walking like a law-abiding citizen, first of all, but just walking uprightly. Somebody who can be looked at as, you know what, she's a good person, or she does right by people.
Yeah.
Accountability, to take account of.
She always throws a good alley oop, man.
That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm giving it to you.
Yeah. You say you ain't about to go, man. You ain't about to
And
do
I'll be laughing.
Listen,
Mm.
accountability, and I guess reason why I chose the word is I really wanted the people to clearly understand the fact that it's not punitive.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've gotten to a point where we kind of, when people say accountability, some people like I'm punishing a person, or
Yeah.
you need to punish yourself.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like you just stated, it's to take account of
Mm-hmm.
your rights and your wrongs.
That's right.
And it's not to say that you're perfect. It's to say that I'm striving to that perfection. I'm striving to that mark, and I need checkpoints.
Yeah.
Accountability is checkpoints,
Mm-hmm.
and it's checking your temperature, it's checking your attitude, it's checking who you are, it's checking everything that you say you are in the dark. That when you walking in the light, you say that's what you exude.
Absolutely.
And so for me, like what?
Because you know she always gonna laugh. She gonna laugh. So where have you gone with this?
So that's
Regina?
just so I don't know what Regina.
Where have you gone with this, Regina?
Right, exactly. Where are you going with that?
No, well, I was going to put the accountability in the car business, but let me just say one thing before I go there. So accountability is of people in the dark.
See, look at her.
People
I
in
knew
the
it.
dark?
I knew it.
They're doing what they do in the dark, under behind your back. But when it really comes out, it's accountability in the light. People don't be accountability
So
when they're being dirty.
I'm
and
glad
most
she
people
said
are.
that. Let me finish out.
You knew
So
she was gonna go there,
I know
right?
she was going there.
Okay,
I
I
knew
was
she was going to go
saying.
there. And because of that, you do have to be able to stand when nobody is going to stand with you when it comes out in the light. And a lot of tags that and we talked about this all the time, and I wear the bully tag proudly in the sense of when it comes down to women, children, and Pontiac, you just can't say and do anything you want to do. When it comes down to spending money, or well, let's just say in the professional realm, when it accounting, budgeting, and that money is not yours, it's the kids' money. It's supposed to go towards seniors. It's supposed to go towards things that we say in our taxes. Yeah, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. And if that means standing up against people, everybody else in the room who choosing not to, because they want to take the easy way out. They don't want to be talked about. They don't want to, and they don't want to be or feel ashamed. Then that's fine. Let's stand on that. And so it's not about being a bully because you are a police officer or you of authority. Or I was raised to be a man of integrity and authority. The first thing for me, I'm a 4th generation Prince Hall Mason. If you don't know anything about that, I ain't got the time for the show to explain it to you. But we walk in a room with respect because we give it first. And we walk with accountability throughout our life. And so that's just what's been the practice for me. And accountability is not punitive.
So I don't like the word bully. Is there another word? Because you say, you
Well, no, that's just I don't use it
say
for
don't like
myself.
that word.
Yeah, I don't like the word either. I don't use it for
Yeah.
myself. I just use it in context because sometimes you got to meet people where they're at, and then. But for me, I don't use it's authority. And if people
I
are
like
not
that.
used, if
Yeah.
people are not
Like
used
that
to a
word.
person walking in authority, or you grew up in a house where everybody was able to do whatever they wanted to do, or you grew up in a house with a man who didn't take authority, you watched your mom, you watched your aunts, you watched your grandmamas, always taking charge and always had to do 50 jobs. And that man lacked in his authority and his responsibility and didn't take responsibility for what he was supposed to take responsibility. When you see someone like me or you interact, then you're gonna find it to be offensive. And that's the word you will use because now you're speaking out of a victim mentality. I have to, as a person of integrity and transparency, I now have to give that person an empathetic view to understanding where they come from. So you got to meet them where I'm at. I'm not a bully means you weak. That means you picking on weak people and things of that nature. And that's just something I don't subscribe to. Now I'm the first one in the room when I see somebody doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm going at you.
Maybe I heard it wrong. I thought I heard you say that you're looked at like a bully.
Yes, that's what I said. I
Oh,
looked at
okay.
it. But I don't like the word. I'm to Regina's
just-
point.
yeah, I don't
That
like the word
word,
bully.
that word, sometimes that word, like a lot of times people use that word to describe
Yeah.
what again, they're not used to seeing somebody in authority. They're not used to seeing somebody yeses be yeses and noes be noes. And we live in a community where at the highest level of government, people don't take responsibility for their actions.
That's true.
And then if something is done to them, they take the victim mentality to try to not make it about them and then throw it off on the person who is standing up so it doesn't look like them. But we're not fooled by that here.
So we got to take a quick break and come back and get into the show, dive in. But
Yes.
I
Yes.
sound like the right bully because people used to call me a bully, but no, I wasn't a bully. I mean, I'm actually I'm a kind person. I just won't take no shit. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna take a break on that one. I didn't mean to use profanity, but I did. But we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the queen of car loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875. I'll get you approved.
And we are back with mayoral candidate Gil Garrett in the building.
Yes.
And so, Gil,
Yes.
here we
Let's get
are.
into
We're
it.
back.
We're
Let's
back
get
at it.
into
Let's
it.
go.
So, tell the people, the listeners, what have you been doing since the last time you were on being a driver's seat? So you came on right before the forum.
Yes.
And so now the forum is taking place and a few other things. So just school us. What's been going on with Gil Garrett?
Really just being out to talk and hear the hearts of the people. And when I say that, being intentional about places that we're going where folks don't go, to listen to the people that they say are not on their absentee ballot list, the people who have disengaged from the municipality, who are just saying that I'm going to live my life without governmental structure or assistance, being purposeful in listening to them, and then putting myself up front and having those conversations. So we've probably been listening. We've had maybe, I would say roughly 25, a little bit over 25. I would call them mini forums, but meet the Greeks. And that's where people would, in their neighborhood, would get together, 20 or 30 people, whether it's in their family, get togethers and say, Gil, can you just stop by for about an hour? And we want to ask you some questions and we want to just hear your heart. And they asked some of the, so we got roughly about 1,700 people so far that we've over that time. And that's why you haven't seen me do a campaign kickoff, if you will. Being here, 27 years of public service, clearly understanding people want to know what's next. They want to ask the questions about what's going on now. They're not really interested in having a party about you campaigning and then you. They're interested in in how you plan on fixing. That's the words that they use, fixing, or how you're going to lead us into the next steps. And so that's one of the things that we've been doing, and I've really enjoyed that part of it. That's the part that I believe when you talk to the people, that's the part that keeps you humbled. But it also, because you think and even in all my active activities and the things that I do, you may think but then somebody always throws another question, or they always come up with another, and it's not a bad thing. It just makes you think about, say, yeah, I didn't look at it like that. I'm glad we're having this conversation. So speaking directly to the people, understanding, looking at the charter, watching the budget because we're in budget cycle right now. And I know it's quiet because I have my rationales about why we get quiet, or municipalities or the public school district get quiet around budgets around this time. But I've been studying the budget. Everybody knows that, I'm the money. I'm going to look at the numbers, and the money is going to set the priorities. And I want to see where you spending it at. And then I want to hear your rationale behind it. And when I'm not at that table, I have enough intelligence and education and space around that to study it and look at it. Because when you deal with $100 million budgets, both state and national and local, you can't be fooled by that. So looking at budgets, following the money, and figuring out how we can create partnerships between the municipality and the school district. That's one of the things. And then also really finding that space out for our youth, because I'm still working at this time. So we've had some things transition with our youth in the last 2 weeks that really has not only put that on the forefront of mind, but because it's always there, but it's then raised itself up to a point of saying it changed one of my priorities of what we're going to do day one, right? And so just trying to, really kind of figuring out that space, because you got less than, when we take over January 2nd, when you get there, with all the things that they have going on right now, talking about getting the road fixed is not a priority over saving youth lives.
Yeah.
Right, and safety. So, yeah.
Go ahead, G.
So, because we've been trying to
Those
get
are
in
just
there.
some of those things,
We've
yeah.
been trying to get in there. We just wanted you to keep moving.
Okay, I got you.
So let me just say this. So I like the fact that you said you get into the small groups, because that's what's going to get you to where you need to get. Because a lot of people look at, you got to get in the massive. You got to get to talk to them, because those are the people that you don't know where they are, where they're straddling on the fence. Those are the ones that can feel like you're paying attention to them and you're focused. Because when you have a lot of people in the room, 200, 300, 400 people, you can't touch everybody. You can't touch the big group. But I want to look at the big picture.
Yeah.
And because this election seems to be one of the biggest elections, or it's important. But in your opinion, why is it your time right now, and why is it one of the biggest elections?
Well, I'll answer that question in reverse. Why is it my time right now?
I do give two-part questions all the time.
Hey,
You know your sister.
I know my sister. So, the preparation, the years of preparation, the studying, the mentorship, the executive coaching, the spaces, being able to operate through the booby traps, being able to operate in both at the highest level of each silo organizations that we have here, highest level of the education here, highest level of the municipality here, highest level of law enforcement, making those sound decisions, being able to be ready to serve at a high level at any moment, being able to, being ready to do that. Like, that takes time. That's not something that you can do off popularity, or that's not something you can do between office hours from 9 to 5, right? So what makes me different than any other candidate, they may all have something to bring, but to the seat of mayor, where you have to lead at any moment, because we're just 5 years removed from a pandemic. Give you an example. If that happens again, do you know who to contact? Do you know what emergency services that's needed? We are a food desert. Do you know where you will start to feed our people? Do you know where you would even get the simple things as getting water from? Do you know how to get PPE to people in various spots in your city that don't speak all the same language? It's those type of things that you have to prepare for in the dark that brings ultimately out to the light. So what makes me conscious about that is because I've been prepared in the middle to be the ambassador and bridge. So I'm the direct source. Like, I don't have to get secondhand information, then go talk to the people about where they can go do it. And because I've had the experience to do it in the past and do it at the worst moments and live them from decisions that's been made, when you have to live through the decisions that's been made at a table without your permission, you bring that experience to the table.
Well, this is good, Keo. So clearly you are.
You got the second part of that question.
Yeah, I know,
Go ahead.
but clearly you are. You've been around. You have skill sets. So I understand now. So that's the first question.
And the second part of it, what makes this a pivoting election, because of the fact that where now people are starting to recognize, or they've been recognizing, but now they're executing their use of Pontiac in their plan. Meaning, it used to be we'll have them at the table, we'll have some discussions about them, and then what we know Pontiac is this. Well, we've now have seen where people are saying, just like the county, we want to help you. Well, we want to help in business. So we want to engage in conversations with each other in exchange. And it's not just, I feel bad about you, or I'm doing something to help you. What makes that a pivot change is now they're depending on you to bring something to the table as well. And so when I start looking at the organizational chart, when we start looking at the charter, when we start looking at the master plan, those things now have to be implemented now to hold our end of the negotiations and our end of the promises that people, or that we've said that we are able to keep in these deals that we're making. Meaning with the Oakland County coming down, they're moving the whole executive office. They're saying, hey, now we want to be the county seat. So, and I look at this as, and I'll put it in this term, when God says he's changing the history, before, make no mistake about it, they put it in Waterford because we ain't making Pontiac the county seat. We now have a county leadership to say, no, Pontiac is the county seat. We bring an executive board office down. building back here. So we putting that stake in the ground. Now you have something to lose just as much as I do. So you need me to help you too, right? Because you bet on me. Now you need to hold your end of the bargain. So now when I have other businesses that want to follow, they need to be able to go down to City Hall and not feel like they're going through a bunch of red tape to start a new business. Or they don't have, or that some businesses will be picked out as far as code enforcement is concerned. And I'm talking about at the leadership level. I'm not talking about at the people who work, because we have some hard workers
Yes.
here in the city of Pontiac.
Yeah.
They have to execute the order, but the people who given the order is now we have to look at your intentions of how you giving it. Are you giving it because this is the right thing to do, or are you giving it because that's somebody else's friend and somebody else's needs some hookup, and then you have to do what you need to do to save your job to keep food on your table, and then the workers, they get penalized because they know that's who the people see. And so it's pivotal because now you have to come in with a management style and a collaboration style, and you have to be a collaborative leader to the point, how do you build people up to get them to work for you, because we're all receiving this money on behalf of the people. Right. So that's why I think this is that pivotal, that change of the election, and why I'm qualified to do so.
That is good. So what I noticed is that you have what's called the SAFE initiative. So let's kind of get into that. What is the SAFE initiative?
I'm the safest. I'm a safest bet. It started out years ago, probably like, and there's no secret in the history. We talked about this. My grandfather and them being a number man, and you know, running, that whole space. I always wanted to be the safest bet. I always wanted to be the person that you go to and can get it done. And so SAFE has always been a self-driven motivation mantra for myself. But it started when I got to the schools, it was Safer Schools. Now it's Safer Schools and Neighborhoods. Accountability has always been in that forefront. That's always been the A. F, financial stability, that's always been there. And now you get the E, economic success, economic growth, education for all, right? And just recently I added safety, which is transparency. And Y is youth empowerment.
That's good.
So not only I'm the safe, but I'm the safety mechanism for Pontiac.
That's good.
And these are things that I've employed in my own life. So it's not something that you just put on the campaign. I could just show you throughout my life every time that I stand on those things. Because you got to have something to stand on. You know, when God gives you a vision, you got to have something to stand on, even again, because you got to stand by yourself. Well, if it's accountability we standing on today, then it's accountability. If it's safer neighborhoods, then it's safer neighborhoods. People deserve to be able to go outside their house and don't worry about somebody shooting up somebody's grandmother's house.
That's good.
And then worry about somebody running and not getting caught. A young man should not be unalived in the broad daylight because of some violence or because of lack of thought process from somebody else. You know, apprehension, financial stability. You should not pay your taxes and then still have to wonder, like, what is it going to? Do you see it? People just want to see that their money is working.
Yeah.
And I think that's anybody. Anybody want to
Yeah.
see. You
Yeah.
you can spend your money, but that's just like, people, everybody don't actually own homes, or some people rent. But when you can look at the fruits of your labor, or you
Yeah.
can see your money, if you're catching a bus or you catching rides, you're doing Lyft or Uber, right? But if you have a car, then that's the fruits of your labor. You see where your money going.
Yes.
I know that's different from
No,
what
no,
you're
no,
saying,
no,
but
no. It's the
that's
same thing.
how I'm putting
No, it's the
it,
same. It's the same
That's the
thing.
same.
Like if you're a developer and you own homes, I need renters,
That's right.
right?
If you're a
Because
therapist and you have a craft, you need clients.
you need clients.
Yeah. So,
And so,
the
yeah,
reality
no,
of
that's
it is
reality.
we want to
Yeah.
see our money, and I work hard for my money.
Yes.
So I want to see my money wherever I'm putting it at. I want to see the fruits of that labor. And I am a person that lives in Pontiac, so I do pay taxes, and I want to make sure that my roads are not tore up. I want to make sure that this property around me is safe, and
Yes.
so this SAFE initiative, it hits home for me because
Yes.
guess what? I live in Pontiac. I was born and raised in Pontiac. So I've seen a lot of changes, and that's why I can honestly say that, when we ask these questions, I'm not voting for popularity.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not voting because of a name. I'm voting for those that stand boots on the ground, that's actually doing the work. And also sometimes we vote out of popularity because we see people all the time. We see their hands
Because
out
we
here.
haven't done you haven't done their homework.
And not
That's why
only
you get
not-
them in it. That's why you get people
Some
in
people
that
you
little
can't
small
even find
group.
stuff.
And that's part of that disconnect, though.
Yeah.
Right, but that's when you get people in the group and you talk to them. You let them know who you are.
Exactly.
Just like the lady on Facebook, and I think you keyed in. You keyed in, and it was like she didn't know who to vote for.
Yeah.
Or she was confused. It's like
But if we can be honest, you can't easily get confused. We have a
Facts.
lot of people
Facts.
running
Yes.
for mayor.
Yes.
Facts.
We have a lot of people
Facts.
running for different districts and stuff. And so, you know these people, know
Yes.
you've seen them do some things, but when it comes to choosing the leader, you have to look
That's it.
beyond a feeling.
That's
how
it.
you feel about the
That's
person.
it.
You cannot be angry at somebody because of somebody else.
Right.
You have to have firsthand knowledge, and we have a responsibility as voters.
Yes.
We have to get out here and do our due diligence too. So
And you have and we have to give you a reason to do that.
that's right.
Like we have to not just sell it, and it's not about selling it, as it is more so making you believe, but believe through trust and believe through and time. Like by popular, if we were going to do this by popular vote, I should have ran 3 terms ago. Right? I'm younger. I was younger, slimmer. I ain't have all this gray hair. I ain't had no, by that time. But it's about being ready for the position. It's about training.
it's about wisdom.
It's
too.
about wisdom.
Yeah.
And then again, looking at the minds and mind fields. Because when you watching something, it's not about just getting there. It's can you stay there?
Yeah.
And then when you get there, can you handle what's there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because it's not what you think, because you're just looking from all your information come from the outside.
Yeah.
So for me to get over there, I had to go work in the municipality, not work for the municipality. That's one thing. But when you work in there and you see it day to day, and I have pictures of when our first day was, of when you walk into that office. There's no way you were running the city how it looked like that, how a desk looks like that. There's no way. And so you keep receipts. And so you have to prepare for battle. You have to prepare. And when I say battle,
prepare for war in the time of peace.
Exactly.
That's what Dad used to say.
Exactly. And so for that point, it is just preparation.
So let me get in because we got a few more points
Okay.
we want to share with you. So when I look at growing up, or even now being an adult, a seasoned adult, middle age, sort of middle age on numbers, younger in my mind.
She be dancing around
how I
that.
look.
How you gonna sip? You gonna sip your,
I'm gonna
Family,
sip my
look.
tea.
Right.
you gonna sip her gas station
I
tea?
can't stand you. So look, to me, growing up, it's always about foundation. I was taught about foundation.
Yes.
Family structure, or they
For sure.
say behind every good man, there's a good woman.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what do they say on the woman point, but we won't even go there. But what's the importance of the family structure? And because honestly, you for what you are, behind every good man is if there is.
Oh.
You have a good woman. You have
Yes.
a good wife.
Yes.
But what's the importance of family structure? And does it matter?
It absolutely matters because it puts you in a space of focus when you have a person that you're lifing life with. And as a structure in Pontiac, see, I ain't talking about nowhere else. I'm going to talk about Pontiac, where people believe, or some people believe, because I don't like the broad stroke.
Yes.
Some people believe that, we don't believe in marriage, or we just party all. They believe what they see on the internet. They believe what they see sometimes that's displayed. But Pontiac, Foundries, when they were coming from down south, when they were migrating here, was a family structure. And the only reason why we got away from that is because folks believed, the next generation believed I could do it by my own. They started believing what the outside world was saying. And now you can clearly see folks is like, I want to get married. You see all these married back. It's starting to turn itself, it's starting to correct itself. My wife is the structure. My wife is my rock, my foundation, my belief, my energy. She's the person that sees the broken me when 3 of my friends pass in a week. She's the person that sees my children. She's the person that my grandchildren look for hope. And you can't get away from that. And that's not something that you just see in a reel. Like this is real. And if you know my life, you know I spent my life to get back to that, to be in that. And I would dare not run for mayor if I did not have my wife. Because I need my children and the children of the city to see this family structure, this black structure, this strong structure of who we are, our foundation of black people, of how we've always been. It's not something new. I want them to see that this is what you need. Not the Instagram model, not that you can't have fun. Go have fun. I'm not telling you don't do all that. Listen, I'm not saying all that. We all had to get to that point. But when it get to a point where you talking about serving other people, when you got other people's lives in your hand, family structure is what's going to keep you as a leader grounded.
That's true.
And I want that to be an example for my kids and our generations below us.
Well, if we let's just be real.
Man, don't get me talking about my
Well,
bruh.
let's just be real. Family is the first thing that God created.
The first.
So that is
Amen.
foundational.
Amen.
And so there's a
Amen.
structure for family. Men
Yes.
are to be leaders and priests over their home.
Yes.
Women are to be the meat. And the Bible says when you find a wife, you find a good thing and you obtain favor with God. You get favor from being with a woman. You
Absolutely.
get favor from having marriage. Marriage is
Yes.
you get favor in that. And so when you look at family, you kind of want to, people literally look and watch people, how you deal with your wife, how you deal with your kids,
Exactly.
how you deal with your grandkids, because that's almost like how you going to deal with us. Like,
Exactly.
are you going to, be compassionate when there's compassionate needs to
Yes.
happen? Are you, when it comes to kids, you have grandkids, so you know what you want for your grandkids.
Exactly.
And a lot of people, if we can be honest, some people, even in our city, they don't dream beyond what they see in front of them.
Correct.
But can you show them something different? Back in the day, we looked at the Huxtables, we looked at the families, and even whatever happened to the dad. Okay, fine, good.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, we looked at those family foundations, and we was like, yeah, you dream through them.
Yeah.
So when you have a foundation, a familial foundation, people can look at that and say, I can rock with this person.
Exactly.
That. So family, it doesn't just stop at husband and wife. I mean, family, the whole unit.
Exactly.
The entire
And that's what
unit.
I mean too. Like, but
Yeah.
my wife is you're a woman can change the structure of not just a community, but over history. If you look at it, countries
We nurturers.
by how they guide.
We nurturers
right?
by nature.
Like just by and then that's why that's why it is important that we teach our young ladies how to talk
Yes.
and that and how they express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing if you single,
Mm-hmm.
power up. Do not get married just because you have the feeling of wanting to be married. Strengthen your spot because that person gonna come. I just want to throw that 2 cents out because I
That's
believe
good.
in being successfully single, and God is still gonna use. I just think there's things that God is so omnipotent that you can't put him in a box.
He's not in a box.
So when it's your time, it's your time, and that's how I feel about trust the process. So that's that space. And so my wife is my foundation and my structure. She Pontiac Northern. She east side of Pontiac.
Hold on.
So-
See, we still chiefs up in here. now. I'm
You're
just
right. That's what
saying.
I'm saying. Like so, she.
I
but the
think you're the
thing,
only
like
chief
her,
up in here.
her thing.
Okay.
Santi is a chief.
See, now you're trying to be in the
Santi is
You're trying to bring
the
bring-
producer.
Everybody included.
I'm not a number.
You know
in
what?
here.
We got to keep going
Yeah.
because we got some
Okay, I
things
got
that
you.
we need to
I got you. Come on, let's go.
let's
Why
go
she
on.
want to cut me
Let's
off?
go.
'Cause, you know.
But family, like you
I
said,
mean,
that family
family first.
structure,
Yeah,
family
I want
first.
to get in and talk about election fraud because it's like a lot of things. you got people that's running for office and things
Yes.
that happen, and when they happen, they don't want to talk about it. Right?
Yes.
But the election fraud speculation,
Let's get it.
what's going on with that, Mr. Gil Garrett,
So
Muriel, candidate of the city of, okay, let me stop.
so for me, just recently, not recently, to the point of hearing about a lot of things that I have heard about around election fraud and people who are involved in it, whether it's in their past, it does concern me because of it is a space where democracy is built. It is a space where people have died for the rights of people to vote. And that's how we in this country, whether whoever the president is how we make a decision as a whole.
That's true.
And so anytime that is questioned at any level, that's going to bring concern to me. However, that doesn't stop me from what I believe that I'm supposed to be doing. That would not be my focus. Because it was at this particular point in time, I have the checks and balances now in place that I can, at any level, have relationships to look into any situation. And that ain't got nothing to do with police. That's got to do with respect and integrity and being able to have those relationships.
That's good.
And so, as far as Team Garrett is concerned, it is something that we have talked about in our camp, and it's something that I do find very odd. Right? I'm not the one that speaks off of assumptions. I did my investigation. I looked into it, and I question how individuals are able to do, but I do have assumptions on
You question the ability of people
the-
able to do what?
I question the ability for them to even be on the ballot. When you look at it, and I'm talking about Pontiac, talking about nowhere else.
We're talking about mayor candidates.
I'm
Mayoral candidates.
I'm talking
right?
about Pontiac, mayoral candidates,
Okay.
candidates, people who in the past being able to be on ballots. When you look at that as a whole, if it comes down to why someone is able to do something, you got to lead that to the higher courts. And the higher courts say, as an individual, you have to petition us to look into it. The
So
reason,
in other words, people are not petitioning them, the higher ups, to do it. That's
Well-
that's why people are getting away with the things that they're doing.
and it takes
Correct.
time.
Okay.
Like in realistic time, if this is something that you wanted to pursue, you got to get your own attorney. You got to spend your own money.
It's gonna be
That
work.
means you taking money away from your campaign. That means you bringing attention to something. You bringing attention to not who you are or your platform or all the things that I've done. I'm just going to use me for an example. I ain't talking about nobody else. I'm going to use me for an example. I'm going to take away from all the people who know me to be who I am to focus on that one person. Right now, spend my own money, and by the time that the case is even heard, the election is
Be
over.
Yeah. Makes
And
sense.
so you have to pivot. You have to use a different thought process. And that's where my faith comes in. Two things when we always talk to this. God is not going to withhold any good thing from me,
Right. All things work together for my good.
and all things work together.
For my
So
good.
it is about
For my good.
for
You
my
gotta
good.
finish it up.
So all things work together for my good. So it's something, again, it is a concern. And it is something that needs to be talked about. And I would like to get in the room with that individual or individuals. And let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that you're a bad person. I'm not judging anything like that. But it just like I'm judged every day as a police officer. Every single day.
So it's not going to be talked about, and they're not going to get in a room.
Well, I'm
That's
not
gonna
sure.
happen.
You know what though, Regina? To be honest with you,
Yeah.
if I don't put that out here in an open platform to say that's what I'm willing to do, and to have this conversation, so the people that we're asking to vote for us can have an open mind to the conversation. It's not to badger you. It's to simply say that this is out here now. Simply put, like, and let's just be honest. it's in the role. Only reason why it even is taking this form is because there are other candidates who use people to say their dirty message. That's how I heard about it. And it's not that I even paid even much attention to it, but as you keep hearing people loudly speak something for 3 minutes, and then you say that same person use the same individual. Well, yeah, Garrett, the people didn't want you on the board. Explain that to me. Right?
Okay, so you put that out there.
No, so
Let's
let
explain
me
it to
finish.
them.
I'm going to explain
Explain it to the people.
But let me get to it. I'm going to explain it.
Okay.
They did the same thing, and I'm like, you're using political tactics to get people to run from questions that you think that they can't answer.
Yeah.
So that's why I prefer to get everybody in the room. And if you're amongst people who voted you out because you standing on what's right, they have a right to do so. In the rules of engagement, in the law, Public Act 451 gives them the right. If they want to change the leadership,
Yes.
they have a right to do so, whether I agree with it or not.
Yes.
I don't have to accept it. I don't change the plan because it appears that it's the majority against what is right. And the receipts prove what is right.
So I know we have a couple more questions.
So I hope I answered that question around, and bring some clarity around
The
it.
thing about you always over answer the question and give us more.
Well, the good thing
Yeah,
is he
I
like
mean, he does. Right.
intermingled a lot of
Yeah, he
answers
did.
with the questions that was already
And
here.
you're very good at that.
Yeah.
Very good. But I want to talk about, because years ago, it was the Pontiac Police Department. That's what we knew growing up.
Yeah.
Pontiac Police Department.
Had our own
okay,
department, yeah.
It was us. Every city has
Man,
their
y'all
own
coming with
police,
some
right?
smoke this morning.
Every city has their own police, right? Or their own protection. And so,
Why we ain't got ours?
because we're not a city.
Yeah, we are a city.
So hold on. Let's,
Why is it not
I mean, yes,
feasible?
Pontiac.
Why is it not
So-
feasible to
so-
bring back?
But
No, I'm
I'm,
gonna ask you a
I'm
question.
getting
I'm
to
sorry,
that.
Go ahead.
But we have the sheriff department now.
Yes.
Why isn't we some people want Pontiac Police Department back? Why is it not feasible? Or
Okay.
why shouldn't we have it back?
Yeah, what's up?
Two-part question. Okay.
You got
Speaking from
5
a
seconds on
retired.
each. No, just
Okay.
kidding.
Speaking from a retired Pontiac police officer who retired, and now works for the sheriff department. People want to identify what's their own by name. They don't care who's bringing them security. They just want it to be Pontiac Police because it makes it relative to who they are. And those who deal with the police a lot rather deal with somebody that they think that they know and grew up with versus somebody that they don't know, because they have a better opportunity to not be arrested, since you stated it, or because let's put the truth out.
Yeah.
Or this my cousin, this my uncle, this my such and such. I grew up with them. I can talk my way down. I can talk my way out of it. You know who we are. Those relationships.
Standing
It
on
has-
those relationships.
So it has nothing to do with safety.
But let me just say this though, it's all about who you know. Because I'm
So-
telling you, if
No.
you got some pull, you
Well,
got
let's-
some pull.
Well, let's answer. Let's talk about that though. Like so we're not. And then at this point, it is about relationships, but it's those community relationships that help people trust when you need them to have that type of trust. The sheriff department is our police department. We pay them. If I pay you for a service, then you work for me.
So what's the difference? Pontiac Police Department.
There is no,
Sheriff's
listen,
Department,
we just
is
explained
it
that.
Different.
There is a difference. There's a difference in
Location.
it's a different, not necessarily even location, your jurisdiction, like, and your ability services that you can provide.
Well, I said location because they're not housed in Pontiac.
We are housed in Pontiac.
Really?
The Pontiac substation.
Okay, yeah.
So
Okay.
people identify because it's like it's not there. That they ain't blue, they brown. Gil Garrett wore blue and brown look good in both.
Come on here.
So you're not going to tell me
Did
that
he
I'm
say it?
different.
Did he say that?
You're not going to tell me I'm different. Yes.
So Regina sliding down. Good
Listen,
morning,
you
Patricia Cameron. She said good morning
Hey, good
to
morning,
us.
y'all.
Good morning.
You're not going to tell me my level of service changed because the
Yeah.
uniform changed.
Gil.
What? I mean, I do. I mean, what is it?
I slid all down in the seat on that
It's
one.
a uniform. It's a uniform.
Gil.
If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. For all my football players out there,
See,
you know what I'm saying? That's
Garrett.
who was raised under that.
Mr. Garrett, this your man. This your man.
This your man. You stand by him.
Okay, I'm back.
What?
I'm back.
My wife loved when I put that uniform, and now that my uniform changed to a different color,
Yeah.
I look good in that one too.
All right then.
Because how you show up is how people gon' let's I mean that's
All
how
right,
you
let's
show
get
up.
back to the question.
Come on, man, y'all know
get
what
the
this
question.
is. Y'all listen.
Can we get back
Y'all-
to the question?
He answered it.
So that is
Yeah,
that is our police department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
that is the people that protect us. And then you have a level of service with the county that you would not get from a local police department. So there are services that we do not pay for that the county do not have to provide. However, because of the relationship, because they understand what the need is, because that leadership at that time, the leadership, county leadership, county sheriff leadership. When we transition, I'm gonna just say this, and we can do a whole show on this one. We didn't have insurance when we transitioned from Pontiac Police Department to Oakland County Sheriff's Office right away. That wasn't a part of the deal.
Health insurance.
Health insurance.
Okay.
Right? Now, those of us with wives, kids,
Right.
when they defund the police, they defund your whole family. It ain't just you. Right? So it's up to us to worry about it at that point.
So how long did y'all
So-
go without health insurance?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
Because the county said they need insurance immediately because if one of them get on that road and
What
die,
happened?
their family need to be covered. That came from the sheriff.
That's good.
Well,
That came from the commission. That
Amen.
came from the sheriff. And if the sheriff is saying, if he cares about me that much, so let me, you know what? You're gonna give me a couple minutes on this one.
Only a couple, because you.
So
you
just a
at
couple
that-
minutes.
at that time.
I'm just saying.
Y'all see
If
how he positioned
I'm
you
just
in the
saying.
chair.
listen,
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
if
only a couple.
if a person, not because mind you, I'm in a different category. I leveled up. You know what I'm saying? My wife is
Price
beautiful,
went up.
right?
Price tag went up.
But if somebody care enough about me that you looking out for my family before I even wear your uniform, before I even get in your car, before I even follow any of your rules, why wouldn't I want somebody like to look out for me? Because you're looking out for my family. And that's the part that they don't talk about. So people perpetuate this whole, oh, it's the sheriff, the sheriff, the sheriff. Everybody makes mistakes. I've made some mistakes in law enforcement. But I had somebody tell me this in this community, and it is true. I'd rather have you disciplined than them because they look at it as some type of connection or relationship that I have a better understanding because I'm black. We can have this, we can have a conversation, and then I'll finalize with this. In the middle of the pandemic, George Floyd incident, our community protected us, worked with law enforcement. We're the only community that didn't have not one incident. So they trust us. So all the 2 or 3 people that's out there screaming about the police, and now we're talking about ICE, and we'll get into that a little later. The people spoke. They trust us and they want us here.
So
And I'm
Gil,
gonna stay as long as they have me.
for all the listeners right now,
Yes.
what's your lasting spiel? Why are you the best mayoral candidate for Pontiac?
1 minute,
1 minute.
like we in court.
Judge you.
Simply as I put earlier in the conversation, it's my experience. It's my right now can serve right now. We have multiple lawsuits. We have a unfinished charter. We have a finished charter that has not been implemented. We have multiple. I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say it. In our organizational chart, multiple positions that's not being filled. So there's immediate work that needs to be that needs to happen. And I'm the person that's experienced enough in an organization to making sure that we can move that forward because I've been there and seen it and worked firsthand with it. And I don't have to have a day off or it takes 2 weeks or 3 weeks to prepare. I'm the most experienced from the education side to making sure that we can have a relationship with the municipality, even though we do not control that. The most experienced when it come down, and we just talked about that as far as safety and keeping our neighborhood safe. And I'm the most experienced when it comes down to basically when you're talking about community, because I've been there and I'm living it. And not necessarily and willing to keep earning those who don't even see me as qualified because they don't know me. I'm willing to earn your vote and earn your trust. It's who I am. I am Pontiac. This is what I call it, the Pontiac Promise, because Pontiac gave me something when I was 19 years old. I didn't start in police work. I started in doing digital divide work in the schools at Bethune. So I've been here since the beginning.
So we got to wrap it up real quick. I got one last question. Describe yourself in about 4 or 5 words.
Safe, trustworthy, integrity, very intentional, very ethical.
Okay.
Thank you. You guys heard it here. Gil Garrett, the mayoral candidate for Pontiac, Michigan. Man, this is good.
It was.
Appreciate
very
this.
good.
Y'all had me on the little collar.
Listen, thank you all for listening,
Man, thank
watching.
y'all.
Make sure
Thank
y'all
you.
go back, tag, share. Tell somebody to tune in, learn a little bit more about Mr. Gil Garrett.
And if you're a mayoral candidate, please come to BNB in the driver's seat, and they will make themselves available for you if they can. And don't be quiet about what needs to be said. If there's anything that has happened or been said that you don't agree with, please contact.
Well, see, what's going to happen is they're going to go back and watch. They're going to go back and watch.
Well, they watch now.
Yeah. They going to go back and watch.
Yeah.
They're going to have somebody else watch.
Yeah.
Take notes. That's what that is.
All right, so happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday, y'all.
Getting into the candy. Okay, yes. Happy Saturday, everyone.
Thank y'all.